27 hours, Far Cry 6, 97% of game progression, 10 bases captured, all the game story basically played in co-op. I think we need to talk about Far Cry 6. So as I said, it's time to talk about Far Cry 6 after the game is beaten on co-op. Now, so you can see the main guy is dead, which is the Castillo El Presidente is taken care of. Spoiler alert, he kind of takes care of himself with no input from you as a player whatsoever. And I do have a list of things I would like to cover in regards Far Cry 6, and it's probably going to be a very unpopular opinion when it comes to it, because first and foremost, I've seen videos, I've read the posts, I've read the forums where people are fighting tooth and nail saying that this is the best Far Cry ever, period. And I have two words for such people, how to actually call them, and you might kind of know this, but they're called corporate simps. And the reason I'm telling this, because when you look at the way Far Cry 6 is made, it will clearly be seen that this game is not a Far Cry game. You know, the same way as Assassin's Creed, after you played the first, the second, the Brotherhood, then you got the Black Flag, then you got the others, then you got Origin, right? Then you suddenly had Odyssey, and obviously it wasn't exactly an Assassin's Creed game, and this same pattern continues in Ubisoft's headquarters when it comes to Far Cry. So we had the classic Far Cry 2 in South Africa, Far Cry 3 on an island, Far Cry 4 in Himalayas or wherever that was supposed to be, Far Cry 5 in America with a cult, and Far Cry 6. I'm not gonna touch Far Cry Primal and Blood Dragon for the simple reason those are, I wouldn't actually call them Far Cry games per se. It's kind of like a DLC content, which obviously were successfully sold as a full games. Well, Blood Dragon is kind of still a DLC. Now, back on the topic about Far Cry 6, and when you look at what and how it works, there are certain things that just makes this game more accessible for everyone who is new to the shooters, new to the genre, and doesn't need a whole lot of backstory, which is technically a good thing, that you don't need to play previous 5 parts to actually know what the hell's going on. At the same time, they've clearly gone the path of least resistance, and if you're a seasoned Far Cry player, you will notice them right off the bat. First and foremost, weapons. Now, we do have weapons in this game, obviously, I mean, lol. But the way you acquire weapons and how you mod them and how you use them is something very strange. So, at the very beginning of the game, which you start on this training island, which I'm currently back on because, to be honest, there's nothing really much to do on the rest of the map. And this is the most quietest place with a rank 13, which we will talk about in a second as well. I would like to show you guys how useless this is. So when it comes to weapons, you have primary weapon, secondary, or primary weapon number 2, a primary weapon number 3, and a Supremo, which is like a rocket pack strapped on your back, and there's different types of that, which has never been, it's kind of like an ultimate, I would say. If you played Anthem or Destiny, you kind of know what an ultimate is. You have a sidearm and you have your ride weapons. Now, when the game starts, you pick up a weapon, which is a pistol, right? And this is the fun fact. None of this makes any difference to your gameplay. You pick up this pistol, which is obviously kitted out, and then you need to find an ammo. And this is where the game literally shits the bed. You can add mods to the pistol to make it much more better in terms of damage and stuff, because we have stats now. The problem is, the game technically tries to prompt you to go up the weapon tier, which is useless, because to be fair, I only been with this weapon, with the tier 4, for I would say the last 2 hours of the final gameplay of the game itself, before taking down Castillo on Twitch stream. And there's no big difference whatsoever. I'm still literally walking around with my primary weapon, which is level 1 carbine, and the only mods I've put on it that actually made this the best weapon in the game is armor-piercing rounds, a suppressor, and an optical. Well, technically a sight, so I can see where I'm shooting. That's it. This weapon is all you actually need. In terms of the suppressors, the system they implemented is borderline stupid. You have different tiers of suppressors, and the first one is actually a goddamn bottle, right? So this apparently suppresses your shots. So as you can see, it looks hideous, and it technically overheats. As you can see, the plastic bottle is just heating up. Once the suppressor is overheated, your weapon will have sound. All you have to do is just wait until it cools down. So if you are kind of bent on stealth approach, or you don't want to just announce your presence to everyone, you can just upgrade it to something a bit more, you know, for yourself, which basically brings us to the tiers 4, which is basically, as you can see, slightly reduces weapon noise, effective range, and slow to overheat, because then you can obviously shoot much more bullets before it overheats, right? Okay, apart from that, a special weapon I picked up from one of the cases, which shoots kind of Borderlands style fire ammo or something. A grenade launcher, which you get early in the game, and pistol is absolutely useless because you're not going to be using a pistol unless you want to do a challenge for this. You don't really need to upgrade the weapons. To upgrade the weapons, you need certain materials, which is called kind of like... Actually, that's a good question. What was it called? Supremo Bones? Which is basically gunpowder. Once you have the gunpowder, you can start upgrading them, and each mod kind of costs an upgrade. So if I want to go for, I don't know, this reflex sight, as you can see, I need gunpowder 3 parts, industrial circuits 3 parts, right? Good luck finding industrial circuits. I have no idea where to find them, and if I found them accidentally, I still don't know that I actually did it. And this is about weapons. Weapons doesn't make any difference in your gameplay. As soon as you have a weapon with the armor-piercing rounds, you're good to go. It doesn't matter which rank you're facing, where you're going, it's fine. Doesn't really work that well against the vehicles, but you know, to be fair, doesn't really matter if you have a grenade launcher or something like that. Now, when it comes to ammo is very interesting. First off, the reason I have this SMG is because if you have an assault rifle and you have a carbine, you are dipping into the same ammo pool for both. So if you run out of the ammo for carbine, you guessed it, you run out of ammo for assault rifle as well. When it comes to ammo, you cannot craft it, you cannot buy it. You can either scavenge it, or you can call in a supply vehicle, which we will touch in a second, how useless that mechanic is. And that's how you can progress. When it comes to certain things for yourself, like throwables, as you can see I have dynamite and grenade and knives, this is absolutely bonkers. So what they've done, they actually added these things under your Supremo slot, where you can select a gadget socket, and then you can choose which gadgets you will have as throwables. So instead of having access to all of this, like in a Far Cry 4 or Far Cry 5, you have to kind of choose your loadout, so to say, before you head into the battle. You cannot do it on the fly, you need a workbench. Luckily, the whole world is full of workbenches, so to be honest, it's not exactly, you know, a big problem. The fact itself that you actually need a workbench to swap out your loadout is a bit odd, and there's no on-the-go crafting available. Once you run out, you run out. That's you. Sorry, bad luck. Not only this, what they also did, surprisingly, they added bonus stats for your gear, which is basically how you look. So if you have pants, these pants will have certain stats, or basically you have destiny level of stuff. You have gloves who gives you better reflexes or faster reloads. You have pants that give you better protection or improve sniper rifle ammo reserve and whatnot. And you can kind of create a set for yourself. It's literally terrible. Now, moving on. Enemies. This is the biggest joke of them all. If you played Far Cry before, you know that you usually have different types of enemies that you should have different types of approach. If it's a casual guy, you can just kill him with machete. If it's a soldier, he might have some body armor. If there's a guy with a helmet or a heavy, you need to be a bit more careful. And if you have special forces, which technically are introduced in this game, you need to be extra careful. Guess what? Not in this game. Once you have anything with armor-piercing rounds, you are good to go against any enemy out there. Also, your ultimate kinda helps a lot. So, let us just go for this fort so you can see how utterly useless this whole ideology of, oh, I need this and this to actually do it, is. And I died because I usually try to pull my shoot with C rather than space, which again is a muscle memory from Far Cry 5, and I have no idea why they suddenly changed it. Nevertheless, failure is part of the process. Mantle system, as you can see, is working as expected. You can't mantle for shit. I've liberated this fort, or killed everyone inside, at least 6 times. It's still populated with some enemies, and it's goddamn annoying. So let's see how the enemies react to me when I actually am in the middle of their stronghold. Just to give you an idea. Where are an enemy? Hello there, sir. That's it. That's their reaction. They are surprised and they do absolutely nothing. It's honestly pathetic. During the co-op play of the main story mission, I must say that literally everything, any enemy that you will actually encounter, is just useless. You're not gonna feel threatened, you're not gonna feel overpowered or, you know, at any point challenged. Challenge is not something this game really does for the player, because it needs to be accessible. You know, it cannot be hard, because if it's hard, guess what? People will not gonna play it. And as long as you shoot them in the head with an AP, you're good. There's literally nothing for you to worry about. So someone literally just spotted me. Apparently this guy here. Yes, they can shoot over great distances, and that's as far as it goes. Literally. Look at this stupid game AI. Nothing happens at all. These are the enemies that you will be facing throughout your gameplay. And I'm on rank, I do believe 16 at this point. I'm not even sure anymore, because yeah, I'm at rank 16 in a rank 13. And it doesn't matter if you're rank 1 in rank 18 or 20, as long as you have armor-piercing rounds, you are good to go. Absolutely, simple as. No need to worry about whatever you are worrying in any other Far Cry games, that you are underpowered or something. These enemies just are unable to give you enough damage because guess what? You had some gear on. This is the final game gear, which is technically offers a good protection, but I wouldn't say it offers a good protection. It's just useless. So this game, when it comes to enemies, they introduce the special forces, right? So this is a joke on itself. So apparently these special forces, we're talking about wolf level in Breakpoint, and I'm not gonna shoot the dogs as already discussed on the stream. And when it comes to this, so this is the, no, this is not the special force guy, this is just an armored unit which we shoot in the head and he's dead. I honestly just, okay, you can have fun. This game is basically made for enemies to not hinder your gameplay, so you can have fun, and that's as far as it goes. I'm not even kidding. This is how it is. Anyway, the special forces apparently will not catch me if they know where I am, so we're just gonna head on here. So, talking about the ammo. Let me just get rid of some grenades, I mean dynamite here real quick. And let's see how we can replenish it. We can call in a support vehicle, which is coming our way as it's being delivered. Basically what it means, it spawns not too far away from us and then it kind of just drives to us, which is a nice mechanic. And apparently it got stuck somewhere. Unsurprisingly. Yep, it's stuck. Now, where have I seen this one before? Okay, let's go to this vehicle and replenish our ammo. So ammo replenishing means, where the hell are you taking my car? Well, technically not mine, but anyway. So to replenish ammo, you walk up to the trunk, you refill it, and you see the timer that popped up, 29 minutes. This is real life timer until you can replenish your ammo again. If you are playing through the whole game the way I do, that you go and you liberate outpost after outpost after outpost, well, good luck, because you basically won't have any ammo to do the things you want to do your way, because guess what? All your throwables, all your specials are basically not there anymore because you use them. And you cannot refill them, and you don't have a buy station where you can buy ammo if you run out, which you could easily do in Far Cry 4 and 5. Yeah, that's a bit interesting. Of course there is a perk if you visit one of the liberated places like checkpoints, then you can technically replenish your ammo if you fast travel onto it, but it doesn't really work all the time. So what we can take away from this, it's quite terrible. The one thing they totally screwed up, in my opinion, is the flight controls. Remember the flight controls in Far Cry 5? They were quite terrible. Trust me, you haven't seen anything when it comes to this game's flight controls, because it is just insanely stupid. And to be fair, I'm not really a good flyer, specifically in Far Cry titles, but when it comes to this game, I just need to show you guys. And I can't seem to find any vehicle drop-off point which actually have it. And I did it. So instead of just having your pitch with mouse and keyboard, you kinda need to do it with both at the same time, which is goddamn annoying. Let me quickly demonstrate that. First of all, if you're playing in co-op, you cannot have two vehicles at the same time for each player. As you can see, the plane will spawn in here, and the chopper has its own dedicated helipad here. Let's call a plane, which spawns here, nice and tidy, I would say. And then I wanna call a chopper for myself to support my buddy. The moment chopper spawns, the plane is gone. Not a big deal. There is a workaround, well, from it. Someone just needs to jump in and take off, but you know, still, you can't have it on two places at the same time, even if the spawn points are away from each other. And these are the controls. Look at this. I'm literally trying my best to move the mouse. Now, the flight sensitivity can be adjusted, but you can't do up and down very quickly like you could in Far Cry 5, where you can actually just do strafing runs. You can actually hover next to the target, or like in Wildlands, you can circle your target like a convoy or a base and just rain down on them. In here, they took the flight controls, or the flight model itself, from Far Cry 5, specifically I would say, and they botched it up. Of course, you still have your wingsuits and everything like that, so you can just helo down, and as you can see, my helo doesn't really care about me not being in. It continues flying down, which I'm pretty sure is not exactly how it works in real life, but who am I to judge? Pulling the chute will not let you glide. You basically instantly drop down, which I can kind of get behind, but at the same time, it's not exactly how it works. Majority of all this is kind of like, gives you a vibe of, I would say, Just Cause rather than a Far Cry title. Stealth is very optional. The game either wants you to stealth your way through, or just to go all guns blazing. And to be honest, it's not really hard to stealth your way through, because as you can see, you can easily take down anyone with a headshot, despite their rank, as long as you are able to actually aim semi-properly. Well, technically this is a stealth gameplay at this point, which, to be honest, is just ridiculous. The enemy detection rate is so slow, you could easily just not worry about a thing. Yes, they have tanks in here as well, however tanks can easily be taken down with a grenade launcher, which is a bit more easier and better than having a rocket launcher, because the rate of fire is much more better on this tiny grenade launcher than you would ever have on a rocket launcher. I have yet to see a game where you survive this long against a tank without taking any serious damage. I don't know. Let's move on. Map discovery. This is where the game kind of takes the cake off. You need to be on the ground. If you fly around or over the map, it will not discover the map. You need to physically be either very low, scraping the ground itself with the plane or the chopper, or just walk on it. Obviously, at certain stages, to be fair, there are anti-aircraft sites which I've taken down because that's how you progress through the game. And now you can freely fly around, and I don't believe there's a single one I can demonstrate about the kill circle. So kill circle means it doesn't matter if you're flying low or high, as soon as you're into the AA or AAA kill space, you are shot down instantly. It doesn't matter. And I must say this is kind of annoying on a grand scheme of things, because it kind of forces you to search for them, disable them, and then fly around. And you can't really see them like too good, to be fair. You kind of need to stumble upon them, and there's no intel you can actually see in terms of, oh, I would like to actually find them and take them all out. Now I need to replenish my grenade launcher ammo, and I still have to wait 25 minutes for it. Great. On the bright side, these billboards are possible to be destroyed with shooting at them. I just need to be a bit closer. Anyway, moving on. Upgrades. Yeah, there's quite little you can actually do about the upgrades itself. And when it comes to upgrades, it's more for game itself, for you to have fun rather than being stealthy, because to be fair, I would say this game is kind of more for go blow stuff up without any consequences rather than be stealthy and get rewarded. So when it comes to upgrades, again, you need resolver ammo, and then you can start and do this. So you have different types of resolvers that will complement your gameplay for most of the things. Weapons, you can find them in cases that are literally lit up on your screen as you walk by them, so you don't have to worry how to find them and where to get them. You basically just take it out of the box and that's it. If it fits your bill, you can actually do it. As you can see, any unique weapon, which is basically from the case, cannot be improved at the workbench. So if you like this gun, for instance, good luck doing anything with it. When it comes to everything else in this game, specifically storytelling, this is where the game kinda really doesn't really call home. The story is quite terrible. First off, we have all this open world map, and we need to go to each faction individually, and then we need to gain their favor or their trust, do fetch quests for them, go and help them out, and then they will help us to either have some intel on certain commanders or lieutenants, so to say. We need to take down them to actually go and take down the main guy. So instead of having a thing where you choose which faction you help and which storyline you progress with, you basically just walk around and help everyone, because suddenly you have a change of heart and you are a one-man army against everyone. And the fun fact is, which has been discussed on a stream, these guys has been fighting the Castillo for a good 6 months and they haven't done anything. You're basically doing everything for them, and then they are very grateful, apart from these two that are not grateful at all. And that's how the game goes. Now, one of the things that I do have issues with is the graphics. And the graphics are not exactly what I would expect for a brand new title or AAA title in 2021. I am playing with a high definition texture pack, and to be fair, it's it's not really looking like high definition at any point because you would not even see a difference. So let's see, I have this car here, right? And you can see how it looks. Let's have a good look at it. I currently have the high definition on, I believe. Let's take a look. Quality. High definition textures are on. Okay, cool. And this is how the car looks like. So let's turn them off and we're gonna compare these bullet holes and everything. So 4 holes on the left hand side. And here we are back. The reason I'm saying back is because to disable high quality textures or HD textures, we kind of need to restart the game. So here we are. As you can see, there's literally almost no difference in terms of how it looks. They do take a good chunk of your video memory for it, but you know, it's not exactly that terrible. The one other thing about this game that I would say I really dislike is the inability to permanently liberate outposts or places. So for instance, this place, while waiting for the sun to come up, I already liberated twice. And it is still full of enemies, and you can literally see the guy from about 5 minutes before. It's still dead and it's already populated with enemies. So we're kind of back to Far Cry 2 logic here, where literally even if you do something, it just doesn't count really. The alarms are still disabled. Probably the sniper is still there again. Not anymore. And someone is somewhere. And this cycle just goes on. So when you have these things like these red locations, you just can't liberate them permanently, which is a bit annoying. You know, I'm not saying that shouldn't be the case, but at the same time, I would kind of prefer, if that was the case, that you just clean out the map, you know, just permanently, rather than just leaving for 5 seconds and then things are just back to normal again. Just quite annoying, at least for me. I don't know about you guys. If you like never-ending grind, this probably might be the game for you in that case. Apart from that, everything else is just as you would expect from a Far Cry title. I'm just stumped how fast they are spawning back here. As you can see, everything's clean out, right? So we're still kind of in the red. This is one of the mission areas I needed to destroy the tanks. Let's just quickly run away and return back as soon as it goes off screen, so to say, on the bottom left. And here we go, let's just take a pistol for good measure. Come back and voila, there we go. Already someone on the road and someone inside. The dead bodies are still here. Where do these guys come from? I have no idea. Killing enemies does not really reward you with XP, so even if you wanted to progress through the game faster by killing them, it simply is not gonna happen. So it's kind of like an FYI moment here. Yeah, I don't know, guys. One more thing. After you finish the game insists of you to just keep playing it, and the way it achieves this is very annoyingly. Once you finish everything, you have opened a new mode called Insurgency. So basically that means that every province, so to say, that you actually have liberated, so Aguas, Lasagna, whatever, will eventually be taken over by someone else. And then you need to just kind of go through certain loops and hoops to discover information about the guy who has taken over this region. And once you do all these things like destroy two AAAs, capture checkpoints, and capture the main base, then you have some hints about who this guy is and where he is, and then you can go and do it. And this is basically after completion playthrough. So I don't know. I've played all of the Far Cry titles, like literally every single one of them. Oh, wrong weapon, sorry. Interesting. That guy literally got yeeted once I shot him. This is basically what you're looking for when you're gonna pay money to get Far Cry 6. This exactly is the reason. Anything else that comes into mind is the upgrade system for your ride or your support vehicle, so to say. This is a bit different when it comes to certain Far Cry titles where you simply would just have it. Like you can just liberate it from someone driving by. Here you can modify it, and by modifying it, I must say you can only do two things. First off, you can put in offensive armament, which is basically a 30 or 50 cal, which is one thing. Those cals, as you can see, you will have armor piercing, soft target rounds, poisonous rounds, and whatnot. And you have a grill, which basically will give you more battering ram. Like battering power, you can just smash people. This mod only applies to your own vehicle. It doesn't apply to anything else like tanks or the military vehicles, which is quite annoying, because if you're used to less spread, less overheat, and you jump into a tank or any other vehicle, it's gonna be quick to overheat. The spread is insane. So yeah, also this annoying mechanic, as you can see, once you go into a settlement, you turn into a third person. So if I mantle over this fence, I transition to third person, and I can't mantle anymore. Although I just did. Once I walk out, suddenly I know how to jump. So I don't know. This is the state of Far Cry 6, and honestly I don't think it's actually worth to buy for full price. If you want to play this game, as we discussed on the stream, you would be much better off taking a Ubisoft Plus subscription. And I'm not promoting paying money to Ubisoft. To be fair, if you can pirate this game, it's just another Far Cry title, to be honest. But if you want to play it officially, you know, kind of like with all the bells and whistles, and you think this is the game you want to play, I would say don't pay £60 or $60 or $70 for it. Pay Ubisoft $1 for a month of trial, or maybe £13 for ongoing subscription, and play all the titles you want. You know, like in a month's time, I do believe it will cost you much less than buying every single title separately for about $40 each. And you know, if you play, let's say, this game roughly takes out, I would say, around 30 hours, I would say, which is kind of exploring the map in my own free time, then doing the story missions and whatnot on co-op. Then I must say 30 hours is what, like 2 good days of gaming, or weekend, or maybe a week if you can allocate a couple more hours. And also this is with exploring. If you don't want to explore, I'm pretty sure you could speedrun this game, minus the fetch quests, in about, I don't want to sound cocky, but I do believe about 10 hours should be enough. Because the biggest issue is traversing this land while you don't have air support or any means of transport. Once you have that, that's all you need. Or you can just acquire a tank or just a car. Also, talking about the cars, your car is gonna be the fastest one. At least I've found out it the hard way, because this car will actually go to 90 miles an hour while everything else goes about 60. So yeah, if you wanna traverse, do that. I don't know, I kind of wrote some bullet points before doing this review of Far Cry 6, but I kind of feel like I'm barely scratching the surface. Or maybe I'm just rambling a bit too much, because again, I was waiting for this game in terms of when it's gonna hit, but I didn't want to play it. And I told that already while I was doing the benchmark. I didn't want to play this game because from the moment of reveal, I knew that this is gonna be what we're gonna get. Another money grab, another Ubisoft title, with glitches, with bugs, and I don't know, I never thought I would say it, but Far Cry 5 actually feels like a decent Far Cry title after playing Far Cry 6. That's what I think. And that should never be the case. That should have never been the case. Oh yeah, and you can't actually swap your ammo types on the go as you could in Far Cry 5. Anyway, I'm not gonna nitpick this game for its mechanics and whatnot. It's just an overview so you can see how simple and diluted this Far Cry series game is. And of course they are kind of still teasing you with Far Cry 3 VAS and whatnot, which is, in my opinion, kind of stupid. But hey, here we go. You know, can't really blame them for trying. It's their money after all, so. That's basically what they're gonna be doing anyway. And on this actual physical bombshell, I'm gonna end, guys. Thanks for watching, and I do hope you will make informed decision when it comes to Far Cry 6. And if you decide to play this game, please play it your way and have fun. And don't let anyone tell you to not have fun or whatnot. You know, it's just do what you want. Scout for weapons, change your gear, get the best set, play it as a milsim, play it stealthily, play it as a, I don't know, as a chess if you want to, or just chase rabbits and try to catch them with your bare hands. That's it. So again, thanks for watching, guys, and as always, take care and have a good one.